Hello, Serge here from the back porch. Today I want to take a different avenue in how we do today's daily lesson, in that we have a string of blogs that came in concerning a certain topic, and they all have the title of Power and Distance, which is, they're all answers to the very first one. And as you can see, we got a beautiful morning here, and you can probably hear I got a crow behind me out here that's really trying to chirp in here and be part of this lesson. But anyways, the title of this topic is Power and Distance. So what I'm going to do is, I got about 3, maybe 4 different people that responded, and I want to go through those. And because Power and Distance also involves equipment, I sent these off to our director of club fitting, Doc Griffin, and I got a brief answer from him. So we're going to cover all of these. This might get a little lengthy, but I think it's a good topic that a lot of people have these questions about. And this one comes from John Crossley, and he titled it Power and Distance. And this is what started this whole string of blogs and the questions and answers that we're going to have today. John says, I've been using the Surge swing for a year, and it has drastically improved my consistency and accuracy. But one thing I cannot seem to get right is distance. Let me explain. As I progress in club sizes from 5-iron upward and into the woods, from the 5 to wood to the driver, the difference in distance is not that much. As an example, my 3 hybrid goes almost as far as my driver. I understand club head speed is important at impact. If there is something more besides just swinging the arms faster, am I missing something, or should I just settle for accuracy? Yes, there's a little bit more than that, but you are pretty much right on target. So with this opening question and his clues to us, I'm going to read what Lynn said, all right? And then I'll give you some of my perspectives on this, and we'll look at a few of the other ones. Lynn said, the basic premise for distance is that you have to have greater club head speed. So number 1, you have to have more club head speed to hit the ball farther, all right? Number 2, we have proven that most golfers do swing a shorter shaft with greater speed and are able to hit the ball closer to the center of the club face. You can actually swing a club with less club head speed, but hit it solid and actually hit the ball farther than more club head speed hitting it off the sweet spot. And naturally, the farther you hit it off the sweet spot, the more you lose direction as well as distance. Number 3 point that Lynn brings out is, you hit the ball off center by 1/2 inch, you lose 5 yards. All right, so, and it could even be worse than that, depending on, again, the balance of your head and where the sweet spot is. Like, most sweet spots are out on woods, on a driver, closer to the toe. So as you move it back towards hitting the center of the club, which most of you are trying to think is where the sweet spot is, you're actually trying to hit it in the wrong place. But yet, there's a whole bunch of other issues that come in. But again, as I already reiterated before this, and Lynn says, number 3 is you got to hit it solid. Number 4, you also have to consider improper shaft performance as well. A player has to have the proper shaft dynamics to fit their swing. So now we're talking about the shaft being the correct flex and having the right dynamics of where it loads and kicks. And number 5, you also have to have the proper lofts. Now there's another one people really don't think about, the proper lofts. And part of the swing dynamics of the shaft is also the length of the shaft. Okay, so going back to what John Crossley originally said was, he hits his shorter clubs better than his longer clubs. The clubs are getting too long, especially fairway woods. Okay, so we've got to look at shorter shafts, and as Doc Griffin came to, he said, we've been having a lot of success with shorter shafts. I mean, hey, I swing a 43-inch driver. I'm 5'9", I have extremely long arms, but my driver is 43 inches and my 3-wood is 42 inches. And presently, Lynn built me a driver at 42 inches, and we're trying to fool around and see if that driver will get me more distance. So, or at least the same, but even more accuracy. I'm big on accuracy more than distance. I'd rather hit an extra club or 2 to the green by hitting the driver even shorter if it's in the fairway, because playing out of the fairway is the best place to play. That's why my mantra is fairways and greens. All right, let's look at a second letter that came in right after John's, and this one is from J.N. Jarkowski, I believe, and he says, again, it's on power and distance. He says, I have been using this swing for about 2 months now, and I find the same as you. my 4/8 means 4 hybrid distance is pretty much the same as my 3 wood and 5 wood. In fact, I went out and purchased a 3 hybrid and now leave my woods home as I hit the hybrids better than straighter. Bingo! There's the answer. Why is he hitting the hybrids better? Because all the hybrids are built shorter than the woods. Hybrids are built to be more like irons, so they build them shorter. You go look at, any of you, look at your hybrid 3 wood, if you got one, or a hybrid 4 or 5 wood, and put it next to a real 3 wood or 4 wood, and it could be as much as 2 or more inches difference between the length of those. That's why you're hitting them more solid and straight, and in the end you'll be hitting them on average longer than the longer clubs that you might hit one good and the next 3, 4, or 5 of them are mediocre, off-center hits and more blocks and pulls or whatever, and even tops. Add up the averages of those distances versus the hybrids, and you're going to be, in the end, more accurate and more consistent. It's longer in terms of averages, and that's what you're after. It's all about your averages. And so solid and straighter is always better, and here's finding out that the hybrids are better. He also went on to say, I get too many mishits with the longer clubs. Therefore, I just tried to make an easy meet the ball swing and go for accuracy. This has helped me lower my score. So here we have J.N. Jarosky, I believe is his name. He's found out exactly what I just said. The averages of hitting it more solid and straight in the end are a lot better, and when you keep the ball in play, you hit more fairways, you hit more greens, you shoot lower scores. And that's what it's all about. So we all got to start realizing and believing that we are what we are, and you can only hit the ball farther if you hit it on average more solid and more straight and keep it in play. And so with that, I guess I'll close on this, and probably, I guess, tomorrow I'll do another one and answer some more questions on these points of power and distance. But I always was never an extremely long hitter for my size. I hit the ball about average distance, but I survived and I won a lot of tournaments because I hit the ball more solid and straight. I realized that playing with the big hitters and then knocking it 40, 50 yards by me, for me to go chasing them is just foolish and ultimately stupid, because I just can't hit the ball as far as the bigger, stronger guys. I'm not that strong and I'm not that big, but what I have over everybody else is I hit it solid and straight. And I survive on solid and straight and keeping the ball in play. And that's why I'm always failing. I'm always never fail to tell people that accept what you are and then play within that. So hit the ball solid straight, hit fairways and greens, and then work on your short game. Get to be wizards inside of 100 yards and all the short chips and pitches and bunker shots around the green. Get to be a wizard with the short game, including your putter, and keep the ball in play, and you're going to shoot a lot lower scores because you're staying in the game and you're playing to your strengths, not trying to be something you're not. Be what you can be. Short game is touch and feel. Everybody can develop touch and feel, but we all can't be bombers of the ball. And even the bombers, if they don't bomb it in play, they're in trouble. So fairways and greens, more solid straight, lower scores, and that's what you're all after. So that's it from the search for today on power and distance and the alternative to shooting lower scores. And with that, I'll be closing, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.